So this is going to be a quick one. It's everyone's favorite time of the year, at least if you're into watches, that is. Watches and Wonders is just around the corner, which means that amongst other brands, Rolex is going to be releasing their novelties, their new models for 2024. And I'm going to, participate in the childlike behavior, which means guessing what they could be releasing and spending time doing that instead of just waiting just a couple more days. So I'll give you at least 3 predictions and maybe a bit more, but we'll see, and you can tell me at the end after the fact whether it was right or wrong. So number 1, I'll think, and very quickly, the teaser video that Rolex released on Friday that kept everyone guessing says when the iconic meets the unexpected, which could basically mean 2 things, right? Number 1, that could mean you see an iconic classic model that features something unexpected. Think of the puzzle Day that was introduced just last year. Or it could mean, we introduced an iconic model that we had in the past already, and we introduced something new and unexpected on top of it. Or it could mean both, right? So I'm going to give you my 3 predictions. Number 1, the watch that you just saw, I think we'll see a rose gold Datejust, which is really not that crazy if you think about it, because back in the past, the Datejust also existed in precious metal. Now we saw a watch in full rose gold on a Jubilee bracelet, which, could very likely be a Datejust. This is the watch right here. You see it has no crown guards, and I think this is what's going to be. Probably nothing crazy unless, they have a crazy dial on it. Number 2, which will probably leave a lot of people, not speechless, but at least speaking about, will be a full yellow gold. This is the one Milgauss with the Faraday cage, which shields the watch against electromagnetic fields, and which was really the only reason why you would see a different color metal, let's say, on the case back, because it's clearly, in my opinion, not a see-through case back. You don't see the movement, but you see this is the watch right here. 2 different metals, one being white, yellow gold, so the whole watch is basically yellow gold, and then the case back seems to be a Faraday cage. So number two prediction would be a full yellow gold Milgauss. Number 3, and you just saw it right now, will be a ice blue Guilloche dial 1908 in platinum, because if you see an ice blue dial with Rolex, that basically means the watch is going to be made out of platinum. And if you think about in which model a Guilloche dial could be introduced or what sort of style it could, basically match, it has to be a dressy, a more classy watch, and that basically leaves it to the 1908. Now that leaves a few, so we've got the 3 predictions again: rose gold Datejust, full yellow gold Milgauss, and platinum 1908 with ice blue Guilloche dial. That leaves a few question marks, right? You see something that looks like a GMT, and it might be a steel GMT, but I'm more in the camp of basically saying it's not going to be steel, but it might be white gold because it has a warmer tone to the metal. So the color here right there is what I was just talking about. Looks more like white gold than steel. Again, white gold is a warmer metal compared to steel. If you look at platinum, it looks more like steel. So this looks like a white gold GMT. And a lot of people believe that the Pepsi will be discontinued and that they'll introduce a Coke. I definitely don't think that they are pretty sure they won't be discontinuing the Pepsi. But hey, they might as well just introduce a Coke in white gold on a Jubilee bracelet, which is going to be the pendant, so to say, to the white gold Pepsi on Oyster. And if you think about what the end game could be, I think rather than discontinuing the Pepsi, they could probably discontinue the BLNR, so the black and blue, aka the Batman. Because if you think about the 5-digit Rolexes, GMT Masters 2s, so the 16710, that really existed in an all-black variant, a blue and red variant, aka the Pepsi, and a red and black or black and red variant, aka the Coke. So maybe down the line, they'll discontinue the BLNR, they introduce the Coke, as they did with the Pepsi, first in white gold, further down the road, they'll introduce it in steel as well. Or hey, maybe they just bring out an all black, we never know. So that's one thing that I'm not really sure of. The second thing I'm not really sure of is the one that you saw right now. Just a few seconds ago, they will be releasing a new watch on an Oyster Flex. Now, it's got to be a sports model, in my opinion, of course. And we already have the Daytona on Oyster Flex, so it leaves the Submariner or the GMT to be released on an Oyster Flex right here. And the Oyster Flex, you know, clasp, so to say, looks to be rather short. So that would hint, you know, more towards a GMT rather than a Submariner, because a Submariner tends to have a larger clasp with the glide lock, even though they introduced, you know, glide lock systems on, well, the Yachtmaster 2s a while ago, and I think even the Oyster Flex Daytonas recently. So my guess, but it's not a prediction, more a guess, is that we maybe also see a GMT on an Oyster Flex, which would mean it has to be either a white gold or maybe even a platinum one, because what is for sure so far, we haven't seen any Rolex watch on Oyster Flex that was not in precious metal. But that's still to be seen. And then there's also a few question marks again, you know, around surrounding the or a rose gold day date, I have to say, not the day date, but a rose gold day date, which was hinted at. You see it right here on the President bracelet, and you also saw a baguette diamond bezel on a watch. A few things that are unclear, maybe also something in the Skydweller range, because one thing that we saw right here was also a watch that looks like a rose gold Skydweller, but doesn't have to be. But this is all just guessing. Everything in this video is guessing, but my top 3 predictions again would be yellow gold Milgauss, and then we have a platinum ice blue dial 1908, and then we had a full rose gold right here, Datejust. So with that, I'll leave it to you guys to do some more guessing. And in just, I don't know how many hours, but a few days more just to go until we know definitely what's going to be out. And then that's basically going to render this video useless if it's not already by now. So looking forward to what's going to come out, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.